Hello everyone, my name is Blackheart and today I'm going to be talking about one of my personal favorite books, Heart-Shaped Box by Joe Hill. But first, let's get this out of the way. This video is sponsored and it's sponsored by me. Uh, uh, I've been unemployed for months and I've reached a point where I really can't just sit home and make videos for free anymore. So if you like the content that I'm making and you want to see more of it, you can help me out by checking out my Ko-fi page. So, you can make a donation as small as €1, or consider buying my book, Garcross Book of Beginnings, that's available on the shop right now. And I'm going to have exclusive content that's going to be coming out in the next couple of months, as well as a bunch of horror story collections I've been working on, including my old stories and a bunch of new ones I'm in the process of writing. So, if you want to help me out, consider making a donation or purchasing something from the shop. It would really help a lot. Now, let's get back to the video. So, I first encountered this book uh, back when I was in high school. I just found it in the school library, which was amazing. And the thing that attracted me to this book was the title. It had the same name as my favorite Nirvana song, which is Heart-Shaped Box, and I don't think there's any connection between the song and the book that other than the title, but it was the title and then the cover, which is this exact cover. Um, so yeah, it took me a while to find this one on the internet, but yeah, this is what the version looked like. It was translated, so the first time I read a translated version of it. Uh, but in the past year, recently, I found it available as an ebook and had the chance to reread it in English. And what can I say? It's always better reading it in English than the translated version. But yeah, so I I read the description and it basically, to sum it up, a rock star buys a ghost is the concept of the story. Which is immediately got me interested in it, and yeah, I've read a lot of horror stories in my teen years, but very few of them actually were scary or even hold my interest. And for someone who's read a lot of Stephen King, I found it very disappointing that I wasn't terrified and I was reading them under the covers throughout the night, and I was expecting to not be able to sleep or have nightmares or something. So at this point, I was becoming very like, okay, horror stories are not actually scary. They're just kind of meh, most of them. But this one, it wasn't just scary, it was something, it was an experience that's kind of hard to describe. The main character, Judas Coin, which is a play on words. Of course, you know, Judas, the biblical Judas who betrayed Jesus Christ for 13 silver coins, which led to the whole crucifixion thing. I'm not an expert on the Bible and I'm not actually very religious, so not gonna be going into detailed analysis because I'm probably just gonna get it all wrong. So he's a singer who's like a musician who writes songs about, well, controversial songs like, like those heavy metal singers that are often labeled as Satan worshippers and stuff like that. He's just he used to be very famous back in his youth, and a lot of his bandmates have, you know, grown old, and some of them died, and the band kind of broke up. But he's still pretty well known, and now he's kind of just living his retired life as a celebrity, and he's got a girlfriend, some dogs, and a house away from people, and also a collection of very weird things. He likes to collect weird, potentially occult artifacts, like a contract from a witch has signed with a devil, and like snuff tape, and all kinds of weird stuff that was mostly sent to him by fans who think he'd be interested, and he just kept it. And one of those days, manager like gets a proposition from a woman who's trying to sell a ghost. Just she's selling a ghost of her stepfather, I believe. Because in the story, I know the ghost was her stepfather. I'm just not remembering if that was how it was worded in the original post in the book. Um, so, of course, being known for his collection of just weirdness, his manager just says, "Hey, you have to buy it," and Jude absolutely agrees with it, and he does not believe in ghosts. He might be a like rock star with who's kind of known for singing about the occult and devil worship and all that, but he himself does not believe in any of it. So as a skeptic, he just buys it for the weird factor of it. Um, and then the suit of a dead man arrives in a heart-shaped box, and the woman says that the ghost is going to follow wherever the suit goes. And of course, he thinks it's funny. I mean, ghosts aren't real. But pretty soon, weird things start happening around the house. And yeah, this it pretty soon turns out the ghost is not just real, but incredibly malicious and has a personal vendetta against Jude, and is out to harm not just him, but everyone he comes into contact with anyone who tries to help him or be kind to him. And I'm not going to spoil everything in case you do want to read this book, because it's quite interesting. And the horror factor doesn't exactly come from the ghost. Well, not entirely, is all I'm going to say. But, yeah. There's a mystery surrounding this ghost and why it has a personal vendetta against Jude, and as this mystery begins to unravel, it gets really weird, and to me it's also really fascinating. I just found this to be an incredibly fun and thrilling and sometimes horrifying read that was just I read it so fast. I think I would just started reading it one day for the entire day and just finished it the next, and I was just left amazed and incredibly disappointed that it was over. Um yeah. I would also like to give a warning. This is definitely not a book for sensitive readers. That there's a lot of potential triggers with a lot of different topics being discussed in this book, and Yeah, I don't want to spoil anything, but there's topics of self-harm and personal. YouTube hates that word, so I'm trying to not use it and find a way to. Uh, Self-deletion, I guess, is what I'm gonna go with. Potential, not potential. It is that, and well, along with things like brainwashing, grooming, and uh, inappropriate adult interactions towards underaged people, and as well as a ghost who tries to force people, well, I guess possess people, because that's what ghosts and evil spirits do. They possess people into committing self deletion or deleting people around you constantly. So, yeah, there's triggers. So be careful if you're sensitive towards these things. This might not be a book for you. Um, all these things are used to just amp up the horror factor. I feel like these things is what makes this book truly terrifying to me. It's because these are all, minus the ghost and certain other occult aspects of it. These are still very real things that happen, and they happen to people, and the fact that someone would go out of their way to intentionally do these things is scary, to me at least. And the ghost is just the icing on the cake, really. This story, it's not just a bunch of made up paranormal stuff. It has roots in realism, and I think this book is what found helped me find the kind of horror that I enjoy, because reading stories about made up monsters jumping out and trying to kill people and all that never really scared me as much as I tried to be scared of it. And stared out into the darkness and tried to see that monster, but yeah, this is a kind of reality-based horror that actually exists in our world. And I feel like this book to me was a realization of what kind of person I am and what actually scares me. So it was an experience, and I feel like it was an awakening of a sorts to me. Um, for me to start writing different types of horror stories and not just focus on monsters. So yeah, in a way, this book was a gateway to a new genre of horror, one that I actually not just enjoyed, but actually felt a little uncomfortable with. But I feel like if it's a horror book, it's supposed to make you feel uncomfortable. It's supposed to make you feel scared. It's supposed to make you think about these things and where you stand on them. So I feel like it does a pretty good job at that. So yeah, um, if you do decide to give this book a try, I'd be interested to know what was your experience with it. And I know everyone has the right to have an opinion. You have the right to dislike it as much as I have the right to like it. This book is not for everybody. Like I said, if you're a sensitive person, this is probably not a good choice for you. I feel like you need to have a sense of a really messed up sense of humor, irony, or at least be a bit hardened by life to read it. Um, so yeah, if you give it a try, I want to know your thoughts about it. So leave that in the comments below. Also, let me know if you enjoy me talking about the books I've read and my experiences with them, because I might do this again in the future with some of the other books I've enjoyed reading. And if you want to start some kind of book discussion or literature discussion and literature recommendations on this channel, if there's any books you want me to read and discuss later, leave a comment. If you enjoyed it, I would also appreciate if you left a like. If you want to see more of my content, then you can subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell so you get alerted every time I upload a new video. And I'll see you guys in the next one.